Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to improve your aim in first-person shooter games like Battlefield 3, Call of Duty, Crysis 3, whatever shooter games you play on PC. You're going to learn a variety of grip styles using different mice. You're going to learn sensitivity settings. A lot of this is going to come down to personal preference, personal playstyle. But one thing that is absolutely non-negotiable is this Windows fix that you have to make. This Windows fix is going to disable mouse acceleration. I'm going to link the website in the description where you can download this Windows fix. Mouse acceleration means that your mouse is not going to have a one-to-one input based on where you move your mouse on the mouse pad. If you move your mouse extremely quickly for 4 inches, your mouse is going to go all over the place because the pointer is going to accelerate. But if you move your mouse 4 inches at a slow rate, it's going to move like a turtle. So it becomes incredibly difficult to aim and incredibly difficult to learn the muscle memory you need to acquire twitch reflexes relative to your game. So it's better to disable mouse acceleration. 99% of gamers hate this. 100% of pro gamers don't use mouse acceleration. So it's better to disable it to learn how to aim better. Okay, I'm going to go through these mice one by one. This is the Razer Death Adder. This is somewhat the flagship Razer mouse. What's cool about the Death Adder is that it's huge. Look at that ass. That ass is big. Like, I cannot describe to you how big this mouse is. I mean, this thing is big. We'll just leave it at that. Next is the CM Storm Hornet. I don't know how to pronounce that, but this is my personal mouse of choice. It's got everything you need, 2 side buttons, and a scroll wheel, and this grip is really good for the palm grip style of gaming. I'm going to get into grip styles in a bit, but it's significantly smaller than the Razer Death Adder. The Razer Death Adder doesn't need a whole lot of bells and whistles. It's everything you want in a sleek form factor, like the side buttons and scroll wheel. That's pretty much all you need, and the logo glows from time to time, so that's cool. I would say this is more of a mid-range mouse purchase. It costs about $40, upwards of that if you buy some older editions. This is $20 pretty much. This is a very budget-friendly Gigabyte dual lens mouse. It's got adjustable DPI, it's got a scroll wheel, it's also got side buttons. This has everything you need to, and this is about the size of the Death Adder. This is also very budget-friendly. This is probably like $15, and you can find it off the shelf at Best Buy or Walmart, I think. And this is extremely cute of a mouse. I use this mouse to fingertip grip my mouse. But I played with this before. I played Portal 1 and Portal 2 with this mouse, and it was fun. I actually prefer this mouse to the Razer Death Adder, not because this is an inherently better mouse than the Razer Death Adder, but because of my personal playstyle. So now we're going to get into various grip styles using different mice. The Razer Death Adder is perfect for those who like to play with the palm grip because of the big ass. But the palm grip is where your hand rests completely over top of the mouse. So zoom in with the camera really quick. When you're palm gripping, you're making complete contact between your fingers and your palm over the mouse, and the back of your hand is going to rest against the mouse pad. There should be no space in between your fingers and the mouse. The advantage of this grip is that it's really natural. This is how you would naturally grip something, and the mouse feels like a natural extension of your arm. Most people who use this type of grip play on a low sensitivity because it's really difficult to make fine motor adjustment. When you're palming, you're relying more so on your wrist and your forearm to make wide motions. Quick anatomy rundown: because you are using more of your wrist and forearm to make movements, a lot more coarse movement than you would if you were using just your fingers, you're using the precentral gyrus portion of the motor executor of your brain. That's nowhere near as precise as using the cerebellum of your brain to make fine motor adjustments. Next, we have the CM Storm Hornet mouse, and this mouse is perfect for those who prefer the claw grip. Claw gripping is exactly what it sounds like. You are gripping the mouse in a style that resembles clawing. So with this, you are actually not making contact 100% with the mouse across the surface with your fingers and the back of your hand. The only part along the back of your hand that actually touches the mouse is the middle of your palm to stabilize it a little bit. Because this mouse is a lot shorter than the Razer Death Adder, it's easier to do the claw grip on this mouse. With the Razer Death Adder, it's almost impossible to do a claw grip. I'm 5'10", so I have average size hands. If you have bigger hands, maybe you can claw grip the Razer Death Adder, but I'm just average size hands. So clawing the Razer Hornet is perfect for me. The advantage of this grip is that you utilize more of your cerebellum to make fine motor adjustments. The disadvantage of the claw grip is that there's a little bit of a learning curve to it. It's not as intuitive as gripping a mouse with the palm grip. It doesn't feel like a natural extension of your hand because you're making micro adjustments with your fingertips. For me, it was a little bit easier because I used to play a lot of violin and guitar, and manipulating things with my fingertips came naturally. Also, you could get a little bit tired over time because it takes a little bit more effort to utilize the motor circuits, what with your cerebellum and the sensory motor integration and everything involved with that. But I'm digressing. So those are two common grips. One third grip that I'm going to use the Razer Death Adder to demonstrate is the fingertip grip. With this, you're not making any contact with the mouse with the center of your hand. You are manipulating the mouse 100% with your fingertips. You could stabilize the back of your hand on the mouse pad, but the only part of your hand that is going to make contact with the mouse are the tips of your fingers. When I like the game with this grip, I either use a really small mouse or I use a wrist rest, to each his or her own. This is personal preference, so find whatever is comfortable for you. The advantage of this is, of course, the fine motor control. You can play on a really high sensitivity and still be able to make fine micro adjustments. The disadvantage, again, is the learning curve, and you could get tired over time. So, in summary, if you want to you have a little bit more control, use a fingertip grip or a claw grip. But if you really want to have a natural feeling motion when you're swiping your mouse, give the palm grip a try. Some YouTubers that play with the palm grip, Level Cap Gaming comes to mind. He does a lot of Battlefield 3, Rival X Factor. They both use the Razer Death Adder, I believe, and they both use the palm grip. And Frankie on PC and 1080p, if you've watched any of his stuff, he's one of my favorite YouTubers. He plays with the fingertip grip style. So those are some of the grip styles you can encounter with various mice. Because I cannot palm grip to save my life, I'm going to have my brother on as a guest to show how aiming with the palm grip works.
Shot out! EKIA! That's a kill! Enemy down! Gun down!
Alright, so now I'm going to show you how I like to aim with my claw grip.
Kill confirmed! Threat neutralized. That's a kill. Changing. Threat neutralized. Can confirm. Transitioning.
Alright, now I'm going to demonstrate fingertip grip aiming. I'm going to use this wrist rest right here.
Threat neutralized. He's gone. Confirmed.
Are you kidding me?
Gun down.
Are you
Stand
kidding
by.
me? No way. So now I'm going to give you some tips on sensitivity. When I did my console aiming sensitivity guide, I said that most console aiming was a limitation of the controller. 75% of it is the limitation of the controller and what you can physically do, and 25% of it is personal preference. With PC gaming, however, I would say it's closer to like 80 to 90% personal preference, and the rest being like, the physical limitations of what you want to do. Like, if you want to play in a lot of close quarters, then you definitely want to have a high sensitivity, but for long-range snipers, then maybe low sensitivity is better. But sensitivity is going to depend a lot on your grip style. I use the claw grip, but I still play with a really low sensitivity because it's my preference to be really precise. But if you're playing with a palm grip, generally those guys like to use a low sensitivity because you're limited in how precise you can be because you're not using your fingertips as much. But when clawing or fingertipping, then high sensitivity is okay, but still it's really, so much of it is personal preference. These are just really, really coarse guidelines. But if you guys have absolutely no idea what sensitivity to start on, a good starting point is for you to make a 100% aim down sight 360, 4.5 inches of travel distance across your mouse pad. I'm using Call of Duty as an example because it has a really good customizable sensitivity settings. Battlefield 3, it only has a slider, not so much these numbers, but with Call of Duty you can customize the digits on your sensitivity down to the hundredths place. I'm also not using I'm also not using Counter-Strike as an example because even though Counter-Strike is widely played, it doesn't have an aim down sight option. So with toggle aim down sight shooters, you want the sensitivity on all your games to be the same so that you can learn the muscle memory necessary to snap to different targets. Alright, so just make a few bullet holes on a wall. Look at the starting position on your ruler and just turn in a 360-degree circle. Alright, so for me, I traveled from 2 to 9, so I have 7 inches of travel distance when aiming down sights. That's a really low sensitivity. For you guys, like I mentioned previously, 4.5 inches may be a better starting point because it's a really good balance of having those quick turns in close quarter combat and being able to be precise at long range. But again, so much of PC aiming is down to personal preference because you have a large mouse surface. Now I'm going to get into another topic really quickly. You should get a gaming mouse pad. These aren't extraordinarily expensive, but the weave of the mouse pad is consistent enough so that it really takes advantage of the high-end sensors on your mouse. With me, this is an optical mouse, and I believe the Razer Death Adder is an optical mouse too, yes. So if you have an optical mouse, you definitely want to get a soft mouse pad, but if you have a laser mouse, then you should go for a harder mouse pad. It doesn't really matter, laser or optical. Both are pretty good in their own way. But yeah, definitely look into investing in a gaming mouse pad just so that you have a weave that takes advantage of the awesome sensors of the mouse. And a lot of these mice have really good dots per inch measurements. Dots per inch isn't the same as mouse sensitivity. It's just how much distance across the mouse pad that the mouse can track when you move it. So this mouse is currently set to 2000 dpi. I recommend you setting your mouse to the highest sensitivity you can and then making sensitivity adjustments. But this is only problematic if you choose to play at a lower sensitivity because a lot of games aren't really optimized for perfect mouse aiming. But for those with high sensitivities, you should be completely fine with setting the sensitivity, not the sensitivity, the DPI, as high as you can on your mouse. Alright guys, this is a really quick mouse aiming guide tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like rating if I helped you and subscribe to my channel for more of these PC gaming tips. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.